Good morning and welcome. My name is Catherine Keating. I'm the author of There Was Supposed to Be a Baby, A Guide to Healing After Pregnancy Loss. I am really honored and pleased to be part of Carly Marie's Project Uplift, and I'm hoping that my contribution today leaves you with a tool, maybe two, that you can take with you for the holiday season, which I know is not easy for many of us. I thought I'd share for just a second about what it is I'm going to be doing. I'm a person, I knew this before my losses, but it became very clear afterwards. I'm a person who I have to choose certain practices. I have to make choices in my life to be healthy and to feel not just joy, but contentment and, all those things. I could easily walk down a different path of anxiety and overwhelm, depression. That's always something that's close by. So I have always had to make certain choices to follow the life that I want to lead. And that it was always there, but it really became incredibly clear after I lost my first babies. And at that moment, those moments, I experienced the deepest sorrow that I could ever imagine, which cracked my heart open so wide, so big, that I was also, it broke so open that it let in so much light and so much love, and I could see so much more beauty in these little things of every day that I think I'd kind of let pass me by before because I was too busy to notice. And so that for me has been such a gift and a place where I strive to keep my heart now every day. And this was years ago, 6 years ago, that this was going on. And so I try now to keep my heart there. And for that, I continue to make choices. And for me, waking up and making the choice to find beauty and the sacred and the joy in every day, it's not really a question anymore. I have to do it. But I think that we talk about this frequently, or some of us do, and talk about it and say, yeah, it's a choice, but it's not always easy, for sure. And we might not have the tools that we need to do it. So that's my contribution today, is to hopefully give you a tool to help you make that choice. So you'll see that I am sitting with my Christmas tree, which is where I spend the early morning hours. It's not early morning anymore, but it was. And in the early morning hours, when it's so dark, I sit by the tree and I look at the lights and I light another candle, which I was trying to get in the frame here, but I can't seem to do, so we'll imagine the candle. But I begin by lighting a candle. And I light that candle both just to watch the flicker, watch the flame, to start imagining it in my own heart, and to know that that flame in my heart is connected to all the light around us and in a much grander scheme, the whole universe. And a big piece of healing and the choice for me comes in believing and finding connection with something greater than myself, and whatever that is, Mother Nature or the universe, God, whatever, just people, humanity, whatever you want to call it. It's a big source of heart fulfillment for me, is to slow down in the morning to find connection with something greater. And I do that first by lighting a candle, and then by grounding, deeply with with certain breath practices called pranayama. They're yogic breaths that settle the mind and calm the body and quiet the thought waves so that my mind comes, way down, and I can think and feel through my heart space, because that's where the magic is. So I thought I'd share with you one of the most effective breaths that I have found that there is to practice. And I speak from experience, really, because it's been probably 15 years that I've been working on these breath practices. And, you have to do it. It has to be a practice. But then little by little, it becomes... I notice changes, and I now know that this breath saves me from my own brain. So it's called the alternate nostril breath, or Nadi Shodhana, and it begins with a hand mudra that goes like this. Nope, like this. So your thumb and your ring finger stay up. And you're going to begin by closing off the right nostril with your thumb and inhaling through the left. Then close off the left and exhale through the right. Close off, inhale right, exhale left. Inhale left, exhale right. Inhaling right and exhaling left. And you're going to keep going and keep the breath as slow and as subtle and as quiet as possible. For the quieter you go with the breath, the slower each breath is, the quieter your mind can become. And eventually, when you exhale out the left nostril, you can end that practice. And sit quietly within that new space you've created for a moment. And perhaps notice what's happening in your body, what's happening in your heart, what's happening in your head. But take a moment to notice and keep breathing deeply. Perhaps even picturing your breath, your exhalations, going deep down into the earth, knowing the earth is holding you and absorbing all your exhalations. And really feel yourself connected to the earth and belonging to the earth. And belonging to something greater. And so those are the first two things that I do, the candle, the breath. And then I generally move into some sort of yoga postures. And you don't have to do much, or I find I don't have to do much. It's just a matter of, getting the spine moving, cat-cows. I like to do a lot of coming down to the ground and bowing my head towards the ground. A lot of down dog, whatever it is that you're doing or that I'm doing. I just really try to feel that connection with my hands and my feet and the ground. Tree pose is beautiful to do, at this time. Just finding deep, deep, deep grounding, because this time of the year, it's wild, and there's so much going on, and people are all over the place, and it's easy to get all up here, and we've got to get grounded. So that's where I start. And then I also make a moment to for an intention. And sometimes, I do a movement like this and close my eyes and settle in to hear what it is that my intention needs to be. Sometimes it's, apparent right away. Whatever it is, I make an intention or create an intention for the day. And it also, no matter what the intention is, I also include or invite beauty and sacredness and beauty to find me throughout the day. And I find it's important for me to really to state that out loud and or within myself, and then to be open to what comes. because the more that I practice this, the more I find. And a big piece of healing for me was when I decided that I deserved beauty in my life and that I deserved little moments of joy. It doesn't have to be big things, just little moments of joy, little moments of color, of light, of noticing. I was walking my dog this morning and there were all these little bitty birds in the puddles just splashing around, and I just watched them for a minute and giggled because it was just beautiful. So looking for those little bitty things, and I sit for a moment with that and then kind of let it go and get ready for the day, and then hopefully walk through the day more aligned with my heart and with where I'd like to be. So I, with those practices in mind, I wanted to leave you with two thoughts. One is a quote that a teacher of mine said to me years and years and years ago, and I kind of got it then, but now it's like, oh yeah, I really get that. She said that there are two ways to enter each day, and that it's a choice, and that there's two ways, and it's 3 words. Either way is just 3 words. You can either enter the day with "Good God morning," or "Good morning, God." And it's pretty simple, but it's true. And I catch myself some mornings when I'm getting out of bed. I kind of catch myself going the one way, and then I stop and say, no, this is a choice. I'm going to find the beauty today. And then my other thing I wanted to leave you with is one of my favorite poems. It's a Navajo prayer called "In Beauty May I Walk." So, in beauty may I walk. All day long may I walk. Through the returning seasons may I walk. Beautifully will I possess again. Beautifully birds, beautifully joyful birds. On the trail marked with pollen may I walk. With grasshoppers about my feet may I walk. With dew about my feet may I walk. With beauty may I walk. With beauty before me may I walk. With beauty behind me may I walk. With beauty above me may I walk. With beauty all around me may I walk. In old age, wandering on a trail of beauty, lively may I walk. In old age, wandering on a trail of beauty, living again may I walk. It is finished in beauty. It is finished in beauty. Namaste.